being here tonight to support this project. Shelter. 10 days in South Tel Aviv. 1st of January 2012. The women in the shelter were raped and kept in chains in the Sinai desert. They were forced to phone home, then tortured so their families could hear their screams. When the families paid the ransom, the women were set free to run to the border with Israel, where soldiers picked them up and took them to jail. I'm drinking soup in a restaurant in Tel Aviv. There are no African waiters here. People are drinking wine. Outside, the street is calm. I have a tissue and I blow my nose into it. The soup seems expensive for what it is. Will it be enough, I think? 2nd of January. Today, I made a cup of tea for an Eritrean woman who crossed the border into Israel 3 days ago with her 8-year-old son. She is 20. He is nearly as tall as she is and walks slightly in front, reaching back for her arm. Make it very sweet, says Ruth, the shelter worker. I put 3 spoons of sugar in. The woman is shivering. She has come here off the street. How long were you in the Sinai? Asks Ruth. 2 months. Good. In the Sinai? The woman looks down at her lap. No good in the Sinai, says Ruth. There are chocolate biscuits. The woman will not eat hers, but gives it to the boy. In the shelter lives a 3-year-old girl whose brother was shot dead by Egyptian soldiers as he raised the barbed wire for them to cross into Israel. The girl was in her brother's arms. 3rd of January. I meet a boy, he's still a boy, who came here from Sudan. He came here through the desert, through Sinai. The Bedouin took him to the border where the soldiers fired their guns, but God has kept him safe. One day you say, I will visit him. I will stay at the house of his family, mother, sisters, brothers, in Khartoum. 4th of January. Last night, when I could not sleep, I read an article about the African refugees. The rabbis of Bnei Brak have issued a decree saying landlords must not rent to them. I see the refugees working on building sites in Florentine alongside old grey men with weather-beaten skin bent at the diggers. Only the strongest make it here from Africa because they experience such abuse on the journey that few survive. But one of the MKs has said that the Africans threaten Israel with disease. There was a comment on the article from a Bnei Brak landlord who said that as a result of the rabbi's decree, he would rent only to Africans from now on. 5th of January. An Eritrean girl. She speaks fluent Hebrew. 4 years here, she goes to school. An Eritrean girl who lives in a room with 3 other families. A small bare room crowded with beds. A small, dark, bare room where 3 families and their children must live. Israel has taught her Hebrew, but all the little brothers cry in Tigrinya. The girl has a plastic bag and holds it out to me. Cake, she says. Cake. Her brother squares up to her. Give it to me. No, she says. Give me the cake. He grabs it. It's mine. In the darkness, I can't quite see his face, but he's small, much smaller than me. What are those? He points to my calves, thin, covered in tights. He sees the skin and tries to touch, and I move away. On Tuesday, the family is going to America. They are being resettled there by the UN. The girl is crying. She does not want to go. This shelter and its people are all she knows. I'm in a cafe in Tel Aviv when 2 African men come in asking for work. I feel sad for them, I tell the barman. He shrugs. We're all looking for work. Yes, but they're refugees, I say. They're far from their home. Maybe they're migrant labourers, he says. 6th of January. I spent this afternoon talking with the Eritrean women in the shelter. They showed me their children, and we played. It is hard for me to understand. Why would you crush these flowers beneath the heel of your boot? 7th of January. Each line on your face, a place of no return. Some of the women arrive in Israel pregnant, children of the slave masters, children of fathers with no face, children of gang rape. One woman cannot keep the child within her. She must put it out. She is 2 months. She fights to stop it. She fights against the birth. 8th of January. Show me the bones of existence, the dirt and the suitcase under your bed. Dalina came with her 3 children from Eritrea. Her mother paid the journey across the deserts. Dalina married when she was 16. She tells me, little Mary, no good. She points to her eldest child. First, 17, I have this. She points to the second boy. 18, I have this. And now this, the baby in her arms. Dalina's husband is in jail in Eritrea for refusing to serve in the military. She will never see him again. I go Eritrea, I jail, she says. Dalina can never go back. It is very cold tonight in Tel Aviv. Dalina and her children do not have enough blankets to stay warm. 3 other families in the shelter have no bedding for tonight. I have sent out a message to all my friends. If you are in or near Tel Aviv and you can give a blanket, please call me now. 9th of January. I have seen a man look down at 2 Eritrean children playing like puppies in the soft blanket he brought them, and afterward weep tears. I have heard him say, how did we get from being a people hunted everywhere to this? 10th of January 2012. I knock on the door of Delina's room, but there is nobody there. It is 11 at night. I put the hand cream and baby blue medicine on a shelf, and the chocolates and 2 yogurts on the sink beside her saucepan. There is no kitchen, so Delina keeps her saucepan and knife in the sink. Her 2 boys run about the street outside. A man named Thomas, who says he is from Nigeria, plays with them in the darkness. The baby is nowhere to be seen. I need to know where Delina is and why her children are alone. I speak to some of the other women, but nobody understands. Delina, Delina, I say, over and over again. Finally, one woman answers. Gone, gone. She waves her fist. Delina, gone. Thank you.